fight tonight.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jade up here. Today's video we're going to be talking about my Zen's DK build. Just kind of go over the build a little bit, general guide on how to use the build, mainly how to use Zen's correctly. So for most boss fights, you're more than likely obviously going to be running Zen's. You'll be running the Inferno front bar with Precise with the Flame enchant, and then 3 body pieces, which would normally be gloves, waist, and boots. Your other piece that you're going to run is kind of up to you, but more than likely going to be Elfbane. So you'll have 3 jewelry. It'll be Bloodthirsty, Spell Damage here, chest, and legs. Again, everything is going to be Divines. And then your monster set more than likely is going to be Zons. You would only use something like Dami House or Grothar when you needed some AoE cleave throughout the whole fight, such as like Sunspire. Probably run Dami House or Grothar, totally up to you. Zons will not work on the dragons for whatever reason. Just the way the game works, I guess. So that's pretty much your setup. Back bar is going to be Maelstrom. But yeah, it's pretty much your setup here. Let's go over character sheet. So this is kind of what you're going to be working with. The Mundus Stone, you're going to be running the Thief because of how low your crit is going to be, because you're going to be running no sets that give you crit damage or it's going to increase your spell crit. So you're going to have very, very low crit. Also going to be running Artaeum Pickled Fishbowl, 64 in a mag, 35k max magicka, 18k stam. High Elf is going to be your best option as far as races go, just because it provides more damage. However, if you cannot sustain, you're in a prog group, you're hurting for sustain all the time, people keep dying, I would 100% just go with Breton, to be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to make it easier for you, and Breton's probably going to be like the easiest choice, just because the sustain is going to be really good. All right, so now that we went over that, let's go ahead and just kind of dive into Zen's and kind of talk about it a little bit. So here's what Zen does, right? Or Zen's does. Your light attacks apply the touch of Zen on enemies for 20 seconds, meaning that the touch of Zen can go to more than one enemy. Enemies with the touch of Zen take an additional 1% more damage for each damage over time or dot effect you've placed on them, up to 5%. Basically, that means if you have at least 5 dots on the add boss or whatever, it'll be 5% increased damage. So you can only receive the benefit from 1 touch of Zen per enemy. So okay, so let's talk about what it looks like first. Excuse me. So let me move this ad over here just a little bit. Okay, so this is what touches in look like, right? As you can see, the icon up here, it's green, counting down from 16, 15, 14, 13. That's the icon for Touch of Zen. It will be a little bit different if you're on PC and you don't use LUI potentially, or if you're on console, it may look a little bit different. The only way you can figure that out is if you go to a target dummy or an ad and hit them with a light attack. Let me get rid of Zons. So to figure out when the Zen's is actually procced, like where they're going to be taking a little bit more damage and stuff, is when you actually proc them with a damage over time. So when you light attack, hit them with a damage over time, talons, Zons, burning enchant, engulfing, embers, flames of oblivion don't work for some reason. I guess it's technically not a dot because it doesn't consistently go to one ad. Trap will be one, blockade, eruption. So those are all your dots. So you're looking at 3 dots on your front bar and at least 3 to 2 dots on your back bar. So you're looking at least 5 to 6 dots consistently. So, with that being said, let me show you. Now you kind of know how it works. You have to light attack throw on some dots, then it starts ramping up in percent damage, right? So let me okay, yeah, get off of there. Let me go ahead and show you what I do before we get into an actual boss fight or something like that. So here's what I do, right? Why can't I swap bars? Oh, because I was hitting tab. All right, so here's what I like to do. Okay, so usually your raid leader, whatever, will say, "Hey, we're getting ready to pull. Go ahead and line up or whatever, right? Stack up for Major Slayer or whatever, right?" So when they say that, I immediately pop my channel acceleration just to get that minor force going for a long time. Then I put my trap on, and then I get ready. Tap target the boss, whatever thing I'm going to take. And then I take a pot. Then he says, okay, we're pulling in 3, hit Flames of Oblivion. 2, 1, go Blockade. I like to try and hit engulfing, then embers on my back bar, whip into eruption, trap, orbs, swap bars, talons if you can, Flames of Oblivion, and just basically reapply all your dots at that point. Once you have your dots on, you know, that's all you do. Then you just sit there and whip the entire time. Now, if you are in a group and, you know, they're like, yeah, drop ultis right at the start, whatever, you can do that as well. Let me swap to controller because it's a lot easier for me to do. No. Shit. It's just, I hit that on accident. Alright, just kind of wait for us to get out of the combat. Shouldn't take us very long. Alright, so this is what it would kind of look like in a faster pace. At least with a controller. He's like, alright, get ready, we're about to pull. Alright, we're pulling it in 3, 2, 1. And then that's it. And then you just sit here and you just whip. Whenever your dots go low, you just reapply them. Obviously, it's a little bit harder to do, being that on console you don't really get all the cool shit PC does. I would say, yeah, potentially you would get them, but I kind of doubt it. But that's pretty much it. It's something like that's your general information. That's kind of how I do it. It works really well for me. Obviously, there's probably some people out there that are really, really good on Zen DKs. They could probably tell you a hell of a lot more better information than I could. But I'm just kind of telling you guys like what I've learned from it, being that I don't really DPS that much. I main a tank. But, you know, this is just kind of like the general information that I've gotten from it and that I've learned from it. And then this is the bars that I normally set up for. And the only reason why is because inner light on your front bar, it just gives you that extra mag. Plus, it gives you that little bit extra recovery because being a high elf, it just kind of sucks wiener. So just getting that extra bit of max mag recovery, it just really kind of helps out. As you can see here, we're at 1100. So that's just kind of like what I run, kind of what I do. You can kind of follow it and then adjust it to how you like it or how you need. Here's my kind of setup here as far as like what I like to run. I'm more than welcome to kind of like pause the video on this point and then just kind of like copy whatever and then of course adjust it to your needs. But I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. You guys have a great one, and we'll see you guys in the next video.